own chart. But this week, I reckon we can do it together so we can write our story together. So, I'll just write it in and show you. So, could somebody please, so we need to figure out our orientation. So where's the story set? Can somebody maybe think of the year she said? The year was 1837 when Dennis was transported to Sydney, the barracks. So where was the story set? Just said it.
Sydney.
Awesome. Could somebody please think about, they said it a few times, what the orphanage was called? Or not the orphanage, the working site. No, it was called the Hyde Park, the barracks. So the story will be set at the barracks. Could somebody tell me who the main characters were? It's pretty easy because they have the same name.
The Dennis boys? Dennis?
Dennis Finn, that's who. So we were all right. Do you think for the purpose of the story, we can try and make that a little bit easier for the reader? What could we make the little John, Dennis Finn, what could we make his name?
Dennis Finn Jr.
Awesome. So we got Dennis Finn and Dennis Finn Jr. For the sake of our story, I would like you guys to think of one more character.
Should his name be Dennis too?
Dennis the third, maybe. Actually, I reckon we can make it a little bit easier for our readers because I think I'm going to get a little bit too confused. Can you think of another name maybe?
Brad.
Brad?
I said Jack.
Oh, Jack. So who's Jack in the story? Is he, can somebody think of a scenario of what he...
Dennis Jr.'s best friend.
Ooh, I like that. Best friend. Gotta mind Miss Vanessant's handwriting. I'm just gonna rub this all off so we can have a little bit more space. So what about our rising action? So we have, actually I would like us to look at the climax first because I reckon it will be easier for us to figure out our rising action and our falling action if we've got our climax. So what do you think a problem could be in our story? So think about what the video we watched. We talked about how they had to go to the muster stations, what they had for food. Maybe someone got sick.
Maybe someone gets in trouble.
Ooh, awesome. Do you know what they did?
Maybe they stole some extra food.
Awesome. Who do you think would have stolen some extra food? Because we can't just say someone, we need to say a name, one of our characters. So what character do you reckon could steal food?
Dennis's best friend.
Awesome. So Jack stole extra food. So what do you think could happen before he steals food? Remember what they had for food. can somebody remember what they had for breakfast?
Maybe they're really hungry, like
Yeah.
they're starving.
I'm sorry, I had something written down. I just can't find it now. Could you think of what the breakfast was called?
Started with H. Higgledy-piggledy or something.
Close. Hominy. So maybe we could add hominy to our rising action. So maybe he didn't like his food, or sorry, what did you say before, Caleb?
Maybe he was starving, like they weren't getting enough food.
So they weren't getting enough food.
Maybe they slept through breakfast.
Mm.
Ooh. I reckon that we can add something about the rats as well, just to add a little bit more problem, because they mentioned a lot in the video. No?
Maybe the rats got to the food.
Ooh, yeah. I'll put Oh, okay. So how do you think our resolution will be? So basically, let's just say Jack, so they weren't getting enough food. They slept through breakfast. For our climax, we say Jack stole some extra food that the rats ate. And then what do you think our resolution can be? I mean, our falling action. So how?
For the resolution, maybe it could be the consequences.
Yeah, the consequences. Does anyone remember what happens if they need to go? If they or when they get into trouble? Can somebody remember where they go?
The farms.
Yeah. It says that they the barracks court. So maybe a consequence at the barracks court. What about the falling action? How might the character solve the problem or conflict? So we got that Jack stole extra food, rats ate the food. We got our resolution, but something needs to happen for the characters to have solved the problem.
Maybe he feels bad for taking the food, so then he confesses.
That's awesome. Okay. Awesome. So I think I'm going to take the rats ate the food because that's a little bit too much. So before we write our paragraphs together, I was wanting to make a word wall of high modality words that we can add to our paragraphs. So can somebody please give me some high modality words that we could add to our text?
Starving.
Disturbing? Anyone else? I've got one, apparently. Alyssa, can you
What
think?
about dangerous?
Dangerous? Awesome. Cassie, can you think of a high modality word?
Yep. The word. Have you got certainly?
No, but that's a good word. Alyssa, do you?
can't think of one. Sorry.
That's all good. What about constantly?
Something.
I just want one more story that could relate to our story. One more word that can relate to our story. All right, I'm going to say seriously. So I'm going to clear our board. I've got a special piece of paper for us. And I want us to refer to this when we are writing our story together. Can you guys see this? I know you've seen this before, but we've got our orientation. So that's what we'll be doing together. And I would like you guys to write the complication by yourself. All right, and then after the complication, we have the resolution. Sorry. All right, so while we write the story on the board, I want you guys to keep an eye out for any mistakes I make in the sentences, and I would really like you guys just point out a little bit. Sometimes I get a little bit silly. So, I got this, and it just explains the paragraph structure. So we have introduce a scene, an interesting topic sentence. So what do you think our introduction could be? Remember our, all right, so normally I would go through it together, and then we'll do the first paragraph together, and then we'll do the second one. They'll do it in a partner, and then there'll be time after for them to discuss. And then, do you know how much time I have, Cassie? All right. So I'm just going to do one more activity before we close. So I have, 5 sentences.
You've got about 5 minutes before the actual Zoom will close as well.
Well, am I 35 minutes?
Almost.
Okay, I won't do the extra activity. But so basically my last activity was 5 sentences on the board, and I have like 1 to 5, and they'll order it with the strongest sentence to the weakest sentence. Yeah.